Hi, this is Mark Jones, and in this webcast I'm going to show you a function of Splunk Phantom that sometimes I get stuck on, which is the filter block in the Phantom playbook. So to that end, I've got three containers here. I'm going to use them one after the other for three separate demos, and I've put together three playbooks. So here they are, 1, 2, 3. The playbooks follow the same sort of format. So they take data in the first example, they take it in as artifacts from the actual container. They show you what the data looks like before applying the filter, then they apply the filter, and then they show the data after applying the filter. So you see it follows the same thing. Take data in this case it's going to list some processes using the SSH app, show before the filter, apply the filter, show after the filter. And same thing here, in fact almost identical, apart from the fact I'm using a custom function to apply the filter instead of the filter block. So just on that topic, so what I'm going to do with the first demo, I'm going to filter artifacts. Let me just show you what the filter looks like and what the artifacts are that I'm going to be filtering on. So basically I'm going to print everything under the .ceph data structure, and what I will show you then is the filter. So what I'm going to apply is there's going to be a field called command, and if that field has a value of snooze, or if it has a value of doze, then I will filter it, and then I will show you what the data looks like after it's been filtered. Okay, so let's run that one first. So here is my container that I'm going to run this against. Right now you'll see that there are three artifacts. Each artifact has got a command field and a PID field, and you'll see so one's snooze, one's top, and one's doze. So after we filtered this, what we should see is this field combination from this artifact and this field combination from this artifact appear in the filtered data, but not this one. So let's run the playbook. Playbook is 11. Hit run, and you'll see. So before filter, we've got 1111, 2222, 3333, and as we expect, after filter, 1111, 3333. Okay, so all good for now. So that is how the filter block actually works, and that's the filter block working as we would expect. All right, so what I'm going to do next is look at a second scenario. In this second scenario, we're going to use the SSH list processes action. So this is the container in which I'm going to run that. Right now in fact there won't be any artifacts. I'm just going to use this as a vehicle to show you the activity. So let's look at the second playbook. So the second playbook, as I mentioned, is going to list processes. So we're going to list processes using the SSH app against the 127.0.0, so local host. So basically against the Phantom box itself. So we'll do a ps-ef effectively, process list. Then in the before filter, I'm going to show all the process data and and print that out as a comment. And then what I'm going to do is something similar to what I showed before with the artifact example, but this is obviously using action response output. So I'm going to look at the command field that gets passed back as part of the process data. So you'll see I'm going to check whether the command is snooze. So I'm going to be running a process on the box called snooze, and I'm also going to be running a process on the box called doze. And then I will do the same thing again. I'll show you the after filter, so show you the filtered data, the full list of processes that I've filtered. Okay, so this is the problem one. This, as I hint here in the title of the playbook, it actually fails. and I can explain why shortly. But let's so let me just show you the Unix box, so the actual Phantom box. And if I just do a process listing, so this is just directly on the box, you'll see that I've got these two processes, so one called doze, one called snooze, and obviously there's lots of other processes running at the same time. Okay, so what we should see, if it was working as we intuitively might expect, is that we'll get the full process listing in before, and then we'll just get snooze and doze in the process listing after. So let's run the playbook. So the playbook is 12. Hit run, and so what we'll see is the list processes taking place. And so if it runs quite quickly, and there's a lot of processes here. But hopefully what you'll see is that here's the before, and you'll see, so if I try to highlight the first of these, so you'll see the PID, and you'll see, so that's sort of the first data structure. So PID 1, UID 0, so that's root, and you'll see the command, there's the command field, is systemd, right? So, and somewhere embedded in here there will be a command which shows, I'll see if I can find it, snooze and doze. It will usually be towards the bottom. So let's go scroll down towards the bottom of this rather long process listing, and if I just do a find doze, OZE, okay, so there it is. So right, so there's doze, and that is in the before listing, and there's snooze actually right next to it. Okay. But you may have seen, if we scroll a bit further down, here's the after filter, and in the after filter we've got the same long listing of processes. So it hasn't worked, right? It hasn't done what I thought it should do, which is just to highlight the two results that I wanted to filter on. And so the reason for that is because the action response is effectively a single action response, is a single data structure. So essentially what the filter process is doing, what this filter is doing, is saying, for this single data structure, do you see this condition being true? So if you do, then deliver that entire data structure on the other side of the filter. So that's why you see the entire data structure again. It isn't actually breaking it up into the individual dictionaries that are passed across, or the individual JSON components that are passed across as that entire list from the list processes action. So what I've done is to create a custom function. So you'll see this custom function, so it's called action response filter. So really our original filter is sort of, maybe it should be called an artifact filter or a list filter. I'm not sure, but yeah, certainly it won't filter as you expect for some responses from some of the fields that get passed back by actions. So what I've done here is create this custom filter. You'll see that there are a number of fields here. So the name that you want to filter, the field name, sorry, that you want to filter on, the value, which I've made a regular expression because sometimes it's useful to filter by regular expression. The list of on which you want to act. So this is the process listing in this case. And there's also a my debug flag which you can switch on to switch debug on actually in this particular custom function. And as you can see, it passes back a couple of fields. One is the list of dictionaries, or the list of filtered outputs, and the number of matches that were matched. So sometimes this value can be useful just to check that it's actually passed something back. So as I mentioned, here is the actual playbook. So it looks very similar, right? So it looks almost identical to the last playbook, but instead of using, so you see here, instead of using the filter block, we're using the custom function block. And if we go and have a look at that, so let's go to the custom function block, you can see I'm passing the command. I'm passing doze or snooze is a regular expression in braces. I'm actually passing the entire process list again as the list of dictionaries, and in this case I've switched debug off, so it's set to 0. Okay, so let's see what happens when we run that. So I'm going to go to my final test container. Again, it's really just a blank one, which we'll now run against, and we will hit the playbook, hit run playbook, and what you will see is, as we expect, so here's the long list of before, and then here is the after filter. So you can see doze here and snooze, and that's it. And in fact, I also pass back the number of results, and just for fun, show you the PIDs as well that you can extract. So let me just show you where that comes from. So let me just edit this. In the after filter, you'll see here is the full results, the list of results. This is the output, number of matches, and then this final one is just the PID from the results. Okay, and that's it. So hopefully that shows where filter will work, so against artifacts passing back separate data structures, and then where filter doesn't work, you could obviously use something like a custom function to mimic the same sorts of results that you might want to use in a playbook. Okay, hopefully that was useful. Thanks for your time. If you've got any questions, please send me an email to splunkcast@resimplify.net. Thanks.